his matchup being one that matters. Um, I'm pretty sure Nathaniel's just not been flipping him when he's not on stream, but because he's on stream, he flips him. But
Yeah,
like, I personally don't care. I don't know. I know you probably technically have to do it,
yeah.
but
I think you're supposed to, but I don't know. I don't really care when people don't. I think it's totally fine.
yeah.
I'm not sure if that's like a real rule or not. I would imagine that in comp play, if your opponent's like, please represent your board state correctly, like you would have to, but
Yeah, it's like weird because one of the weird things that we've had explained to us one time is like, even if you say for sure, like you read a card and it's like, yes, it works this way, if there's no ruling that says it for like at all and it's missed or something, like some weird thing's missed, you literally can't do anything about it. So there's not like a specific rule that says, yes, these have to be flipped. If they're the spell ones, then sometimes it's like whatever. But I'm pretty sure they have to be.
not sure.
Strike it rich. Make a trigger. Place line tapped. Pass.
Is there any like meaningful interaction? I put RB instead of RG, my bad. RG could have.
That's a good question. Not really that I could think of. If I'm not mistaken, I felt like Daniel said for the most part this matchup was like these type of matchups are kind of free. I'm not sure if that's entirely true.
I think that's a lot of the appeal of running like something like Charbelcher right now is that it's like got a pretty good matchup against something like this 4-color elementals list.
Yeah, like he's basically got to have a march or like exactly the 4 colors to exile this with prismatic ending.
Right, and he played the Tef and already down tick, so
And if he passes, he dies. Yeah.
uh
He goes, I can make 3 colors.
yeah,
That is it.
he just showed his prismatic ending.
I'm pretty sure he's just looking in hand, confirming that he's dead. There's nothing you can do. He says, will you just. He's like, will you please
like,
activate?
yeah,
he's putting the lands back and stuff. Yeah.
He's like, you have to activate, which means I get to look at everything in your deck. So let's skip to that part at least. That's really funny. Game 1's gonna go to Mr. Schneider. Yeah. Okay. Nerdy Vato, thanks for the follow. Misty, Spikefield Cave.
What Nathaniel just did is what makes me so upset about flipping my cards, because you realize the smudges when you're flipping them. And you go, I gotta get this off, bro. I had like no
Every
shot.
time, yeah.
They multiply. I'm sorry. It cracks me up watching like watching, because I've seen TJ do it too. Welter players just like respectfully just sit there and go, just tell me when it's my turn, man. It's
Like I'm not
sit there, they're just chilling, bro.
I'm not doing a damn thing. I'm playing these draft commons every turn until I can do my thing. Okay, turn 2 ritual. Metamorphose. Okay, this is gonna be a recross.
Yep.
Yeah, they do have mythic lands too, I guess. Whatever.
No, they have no lands.
Yeah, never mind.
Your chat, you faded, bro.
So if you haven't seen the recross the paths thing, he can reveal cards from the top of his library until he reveals a land, which he does not run any lands on the front side, and then put that land into play, which he won't, and then he can put the cards back on the bottom in any order, which means he gets to just stack his deck in any order he wants. RG's asking him about that March, like, huh, is this new? Is this the new sauce? Is this what everyone's
Is
doing
this
now?
attack right now?
So yeah, what's gonna happen is he'll put a Turn Timber Symbiosis on top of his deck, most likely. Oh, we're going for a Pyromancer Ascension pile. So fun. I'm excited. But yeah, anyways, and then Reforge the Soul will be the his draw next turn, and he just miracles it, draws 7 cards, and somehow, they're all perfect. Infernal Plunge and Pact of the Titan and Desperate Ritual and all that. Dawn Brand, thanks for the follow.
One of the other crazy things this deck can do sometimes is like, if they, for example, have a ley line in play, and you activate your Charbelcher, like targeting something else, you get to basically recross every time, because it still says you get to put them back in any order. So like when every time you activate your Charbelcher, you can just stack your deck differently.
Right, that too. Yeah, if there'd be some way they stopped it or something like that, or had enough life somehow. Daniel, taking a minute for this pile. The thing about these piles is you have to counter that Reforge the Soul if you don't have the counter for this, like Recross the Path, because as you can see, Pact of Negation is going into this pile of 7 cards that he's going to be drawing for sure, and it's going to be too late if you let the Reforge the Soul resolve.
Well, the other thing you can do sometimes is you can also, on their upkeep, besage you their red source.
That's kind of interesting, yeah.
Because they don't have any lands.
Yeah.
And then they draw the Reforge, are not able to actually miracle it. And then you have, like...
That's pretty sick.
That would be crazy. Yeah, because they don't have any lands to go get.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
And that might be why you're seeing, like, if Nathaniel does go with a Pyromancer pile, that would probably be why.
Okay, Turn Timber's on top of my deck. I win that clash, but Turn Timber on the bottom.
So, technically,
he
gets the Scry too. I don't know if he keeps it. And it might be just to get more colors active. But unless you're TJ, then it's 45.
Yeah.
Oops.
So the entries, it's $40, but 5 of it goes towards the Invitational Series and 35 of it goes to the prize pool
Pull
here.
up Besage real quick. I believe Besage you do not have to search. So just to answer a comment,
Yeah, you may search.
you may search. So even if they get beside you, they don't have to do anything. But it's also like it would shuffle you after, so you can't like do anything.
Oh, Chalice on 0 stops
Yeah.
packs. You see that? Chalice on 0 stops packs from happening.
It's true.
So he didn't go with Miracle.
Yeah, and I think that's why we're gonna see him play the other pile instead. Probably just feels like it's a lot safer whenever you're on the, or maybe better whenever you're on the draw. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I just misread your comment when I brought up Asagio. Try to answer something. If we can.
Do you know how many times RG's fetched? I think there was like 3 fetch lands in his yard.
It's a gross amount of times.
I was just trying to get his life total.
Like 3, I think. Oh, interesting. So he actually put the Reforge as the next card down.
Because he will. That's interesting. Wanted to get a land first, right?
Yeah, to do in our mind do the Infernal Plunge package potentially, but he can't because it's Chalice. Or maybe he
Shock.
can.
I think Snyder's shocked twice.
Yeah, so there's going to be a ritual, then it's going to be another ritual splicing to itself. I would assume.
No, you don't splice.
Well, one of them you could splice to each other to make 6 mana. Cost 4 to splice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Pyromancer Ascension. Make sure of no Ragavan. That makes sense.
So there's going to be Metamorphose and the Metamorphose and the Metamorphose. So you get Dissension up, and then I think he's going to do the infinite mana thing.
Yeah, he's got Balagad recoveries and
You know, he could do it, but again, like you said, the whole Chalice negating the Titan, but he can also do it with the Angels.
yeah, because one of the win cons of the deck is to make infinite Titans with Pacts of Titan, and then the spell that gives everything haste, right?
Song Mad Treachery, if you want to pull that up.
Song of what is it?
It's this bottom card right there, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you gain control of target creature, gains haste, but then you have infinite mana, so you just cast that on like every single one of your Titans. Oh yeah, there's a judge call here.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you don't know how it works, basically you just need a Balagast Recovery in your hand and one in your graveyard, and then you get to cast it, which gives you 2 copies in order to return a Ritual and another Balagast Recovery to your hand, and you can do that because of the Ritual making mana, and then you eventually grab that same pile, but instead of the Ritual, you grab a Strike It Rich, and then you make the infinite amount of tokens because you made an infinite amount of mana, and then you can sack them to do whatever you want, which they'll eventually make the 4/4 Angels, and then they'll dig through their deck with a Metamorphose after that until they find the land to
This
gain control of, because it gains control of target creature,
And again, gets haste.
and it gets haste, so then they'll gain control of all their Angels and then kill them.
What is happening?
They're talking about mana and drawing and how much.
But
I think they're trying to walk back through what happened here.
I think he had an extra mana on a green, and he had to use it to cast. He's not making extra mana.
What the heck? No, there's a judge right there. Aaron's right there trying to help him.
Yeah.
So I think he just put the Ascension on 2 and passed. Had to pass. But now he doesn't have a way to make green, right? Well, he can play this land tapped.
Maybe that's where he messed up. He just like accidentally made the red and didn't make the green.
On that, draw a card.
Gain 4. Strike it rich. So we're gonna get this, and now we're splicing. Make a ton of mana.
Wow.
It just makes sense.
That's,
Yeah.
that's a lot of mana. Chyla, thank you for pointing that out. Okay, so he was anticipating copying the Manamorphose, but it was the one that ticked it up to 2.
Yeah.
So it didn't actually copy it yet.
Yeah.
Tap.
So now we're at the whole. I'm gonna do the infinite loop potentially.
Wait, he has to have another Balagad in the yard to do that, right?
It looks like he's getting that in a recross.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that pretty much does it.
Maybe. I mean, again, I could.
Well,
I might be wrong here.
You
I'm
cast
just gonna let him do his
recross.
thing.
You
I'm
cast
not-
recross here and put a Balagad on top and draw the Manamorphose.
Yeah.
Yep, and there's the Balagad. This is cool. I haven't actually seen this played out. I've heard. I mean, have heard of what this combo like does, but I haven't actually seen it go.
Goes pretty hard.
Looks like he's also considering a veil.
Turn Timber.
Nice 7 mana spell. Higher than your 2 mana spell.
Copy Manamorphose, draw 2. Make 4 green.
So basically, he's going to do another Metamorphose. I believe he put a Veil of Summer in this spot.
Yep.
Yep. To basically just cast it here, it puts 2 copies on the stack. So he can just ensure that his spells never get countered later. But generally won't matter.
And grab a ritual to ensure that you never run out of mana. And there's the veil.
I think RJ has a veto in hand.
Well, there's a Veil now.
Right.
So he could have done it on the recross path earlier. But
I mean, even then, there's 2 copies of Recross on the stack. It's like,
well, yeah, and Nathaniel has Pact.
wait,
hand.
there's Chalice though.
Oh yeah. You can chalice check.
The thing that can be done.
Does it work on the copy because it's copy cast?
Oh no, yeah, it doesn't actually.
Yeah, the copy
Yeah,
doesn't get
that's
cast,
true.
so it still gets pacted.
Yeah.
Got him.
So if you would happen to need to cast Pact into this Chalice, so even his Pact of the Titans would work. You'd get 1 copy every time.
Oh, Spike Field Hazard, loop it, get it back.
Oh, you can just do infinite damage with Spike Field Hazard too. Okay, I didn't realize that. RG goes, I'm gonna veto the last one before I die. No, okay.
A spell that can't be countered.
He's like, just to be sure you're casting exactly this many copies, I'll veto one of them.
I'm pretty sure there's talking now.
Yeah, I think they're just talking about what RG could have maybe done, or
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's actually really good at helping players that way. Although RG, what I've seen from him, he is a heck of a player.
yeah, he's already. Both these players are already qualified. They've already locked in invites for the Invitational. They're killers, from what I understand.
Soul crushers.
In game. All right, Nathaniel takes that one down.
Well, that was cool. That was cool to see.